simply because it truly does help me out a lot. Now we're going to be reacting to Lil Durk arrested on murder for hire indictment, man. Now this is crazy. A lot of people are saying it is in fact over for Lil Durk. This is the end of Lil Durk, you get what I mean? We got YNW Melly, we got Young Thug, now we got Lil Durk, man. Now, yeah, man, it's really not looking good. But overall, it looks like Lil Durk he actually did get his get back on Quando Rondo and whatnot for the whole Vaughn incident. And apparently he was telling people he'd give them money and music opportunities if someone, got Quando Rondo himself knocked off. But I guess that wasn't very successful. But overall, looks like he got one of Quando Rondo's close friends or whatnot, cousins. I'm not 100%.
We're going to be reacting to Lil Durk being arrested on murder charges for a higher indictment, man. This is crazy, and many people are saying that it is actually over for Lil DK. First and foremost, I want to thank you for watching this video right now. I truly appreciate your time, and I would really appreciate it if you would consider subscribing to the channel because it really helps me a lot. This is the end of Lil Durk. You get what I mean? We got W Melly, we got Young Thug, now we got Lil Durk, man. Now, yeah, man, it's really not looking good, but overall, it looks like Lil Durk he actually did get his get back on Quando Rondo and whatnot for the whole Vaughn incident, and apparently he was telling people he'd give them money. And music opportunities if someone got Quando Rondo himself knocked off, but I guess that wasn't very successful. But overall, it looks like he got on one of Quando Rondo's close friends or whatnot, cousins. I'm not 100% sure, but knocked off overall, right? Someone very, very close to Rondo. Lil Durk got them knocked off. That whole situation went really viral because Quando Rondo was crying. It was a whole crazy situation. Quando Rondo was crying. Quando Rondo, dropped his flag. He doesn't want to be a gang member anymore, etc., right? So yeah, man, overall, a lot of people were making fun. FW Rondo, but yeah, overall, looks like Lil Durk is facing the consequences of what he did try to do, but at the end of the day, we all know. In the end, fans were making fun of Lil Durk for not sliding for Vol, but let's get right to the video. Durk was arrested by U.S. Marshals in Broward County, Florida, and is being held without bond on charges of murder for hire. 5 OTF affiliates were also charged with the murder of Quando Rondo's cousin during a shootout in Los Angeles. So back in 2020, King Von was killed by a Quando Rondo associate named LOL Tim. The entire altercation was captured on camera. Outside a nightclub, a tragic incident unfolded that would send shockwaves through the rap world and forever alter the trajectory of Chicago's drill music scene. On that fateful night, King Von, a prominent member of the OTF Only the Family Collective, was tragically gunned down in a shooting that has since become infamous. But what many don't know is that Von's death wasn't just a random act of violence. There were complex dynamics at play, particularly involving his close friend, Lil Durk. Lil Durk and King Von were not just collaborators in music, they were longtime friends who had shared their struggles, triumphs, and dreams together. Their bond was built on years of loyalty and mutual respect. However, as King Von's fame grew, so too did the pressures on Durk to avenge his friend when Von's life was tragically cut short. While it is often assumed that Durk himself would be the one to take matters into his own hands, the truth is more complicated. Rumors surfaced that, rather than directly engaging in any violent acts himself, Durk had someone else handle the situation on his behalf, a decision that could come with significant consequences, especially when the eyes of the law are upon you. As the authorities began their investigation into Von's murder, the focus quickly turned to Lil Durk and his associates, who were linked to the OTF Collective. This group, composed of friends and fellow musicians, had long been under the radar of law enforcement due to their affiliations with street activities. The tragic shooting of King Von outside the Atlanta nightclub was just the latest chapter in a long saga of violent incidents that had plagued both the rap scene and the streets of Chicago. When the police and federal agents began to piece together the details of the shooting, one name quickly emerged: Lil Tim. Lil Tim, who was allegedly involved in the shooting, is said to have been the one who ran around a car and fired the fatal shots that killed King Von. The incident sparked a heated debate within the hip-hop community, with some fans expressing outrage over the brutal nature of the killing, while others questioned the role of Durk and his associates in the unfolding drama. The shooting's cause was more complicated than suspected, according to reports. There were whispers that Durk, under intense pressure from his community and his label, may have been indirectly involved, perhaps by paying someone else to carry out the act. While it's still unclear to what extent Durk was directly involved, what followed was the mounting legal pressure on his circle. In the aftermath of Von's murder, a number of OTF affiliates found themselves under investigation, including Durk himself. The indictment of Lil Durk and his associates became a topic of considerable interest. The 5 individuals named in the indictment: Kavon King Vaughn, London, Keith Jones, Andre Dantra Wilson, David Asa, and Brian Lindsay were all allegedly tied to various illegal activities linked to the OTF collective. According to federal authorities, these individuals were part of a criminal conspiracy operating under the umbrella of the Only the Family brand, which, although primarily known for its music, was also associated with various street-level operations. As the investigation into King Von's death progressed, it became evident that the case was not just about a single act of violence, it was part of a broader pattern of criminal activity involving the OTF group. The federal government has made it clear that it views the activities of OTF as part of a larger racketeering operation with ties to drug trafficking, gun violence, and other illicit enterprises. The legal ramifications of this investigation have led to what many are now calling an impending OTF RICO case, a reference to the Racketeer-Influenced and Corrupt Organizations RICO Act, which allows prosecutors to charge individuals involved in organized crime. The indictment has sent shockwaves through the hip-hop community as many wonder how it will affect Durk's career moving forward. It appears that the case will continue to unfold, revealing more about OTF and its insiders. For Durk, the stakes couldn't be higher. His career, his freedom, and his reputation all hang in the balance. In addition to the legal battles, the case has sparked a larger conversation about the role of street culture in rap music, the pressures that artists face, and the consequences of becoming enmeshed in criminal enterprises. While Durk has tried to distance himself from these activities in his public persona, the reality of his past and the company he keeps continues to haunt him. I'd also like to take a moment to acknowledge Poetic Flow, whose research and insights have provided much of the context for this discussion. Check out his channel for a deeper look at this case and its impact on hip-hop. Various products created and marketed hit bomb music, mostly from Chicago defense artists. On November 6, 2020, a high-ranking OTF member and Keith Jones, also known as Flocka, and David Brian Lindsay, also known as Brown Eyes, were involved in a physical altercation at a nightclub in Atlanta, Georgia. This is about King Von being killed by Quando Rondo, an associate of TB, who pulled out a gun and shot DB several times, killing him after the murder. In coded jargon, co-conspirator 1 said that they would pay. Durk is obviously conspirator number 1, and he was prepared to pay someone to kill Quando Rondo. Almost 2 years after King Von's death, conspirators discovered that TB was staying at a hotel in Los Angeles, as claimed in counts 1 and 2. After learning of TB's whereabouts, defendants Wilson, Jones, Lindsay, and Houston, as well as co-conspirator number 2, traveled from Chicago to Los Angeles with the intention of killing TB. To be honest, the indictment presented on the first page paints a troubling picture for Lil Durk, and the charges raised against him and his associates are serious. The document reveals a list of co-conspirators and outlines a chilling plot involving a premeditated attack on an individual referred to as TB. The scheme involved tracking, stalking, and attempting to murder TB through gunfire, which included the use of a fully automatic firearm. Tragically, the violent act resulted in the death of a person identified as SSR. This brutal incident took place in August 2022, and the indictment suggests that one of the key defendants in the case, identified as Grant, was involved not only in the attempted murder but also traveled to Los Angeles on a private jet on the same day of the attack. This raises significant questions about the use of OTF's finances or even Durk's personal money to fund or facilitate such a violent conspiracy. One of the most disturbing aspects of the indictment is the alleged use of OTF resources, money, connections, and influence to carry out the plot. The conspiracy involved the use of various means of communication and transportation, such as vehicles, cell phones, and even private planes, all coordinated to track down and kill TB. According to the indictment, the conspirators crossed state lines to execute the plan, thereby involving interstate and foreign commerce, which is a significant federal offense. They used a combination of technology such as cell phones and the internet and logistical resources to facilitate the crime, further compounding the charges. It's even more troubling when you consider that the conspirators allegedly agreed to carry out the murder in exchange for financial incentives, which raises the possibility of Durk's direct involvement. The indictment suggests that the individuals involved in the conspiracy were promised monetary compensation or lucrative opportunities, possibly even with OTF's backing. The promise to pay those involved in the murder of TB was said to include things like money and lucrative music deals. Potentially linking Durk and OTF to the violent scheme, the idea that Durk or someone close to him could have sanctioned or facilitated this kind of operation under the guise of a business arrangement is incredibly damaging. The indictment even points to the role of Quando Rondo's cousin, who was seen on camera during the incident. In a highly dramatic and telling moment, the cousin is shown screaming as he's pulled out of a car. The entire event was captured on HD camera, providing a chilling visual record of the conspiracy in action. If this video footage is admissible as evidence, it could prove to be a game changer in the investigation, as it would show the direct involvement of several individuals linked to OTF. The further details in the indictment suggest that the conspirators were not merely acting out of personal vendettas, but that they were part of a broader, coordinated operation involving promises of financial reward and future career opportunities in exchange for carrying out these violent acts. This is where the connection to OTF becomes particularly problematic for Durk. The indictment describes how the conspirators had an agreement to kill TB in exchange for monetary compensation and potentially lucrative music deals through OTF. The idea that Durk or his associates might have used the label's resources, whether financial or otherwise, to fund a plot to kill someone is a serious allegation. This raises the question, did Durk really put a price on someone's life in exchange for furthering the interests of his label? If the evidence in the case proves that Durk was behind the bounty on TB's head, the consequences could be catastrophic for his career and his personal freedom. According to the indictment, those who participated in the murder of TB were also promised a shot at a musical career with OTF, essentially incentivizing murder with the prospect of fame and fortune in the rap game. The idea that Durk may have been willing to pay people to eliminate rivals or threats in exchange for music deals only intensifies the gravity of the charges. The possibility of concrete evidence linking Durk to this conspiracy, particularly through financial transactions or communications, would be a major blow to his defense. If the prosecution can prove that Durk had a direct hand in orchestrating the murder or offering financial rewards to those involved, it would add a new layer of criminality to his involvement with OTF. The stakes are incredibly high for Durk right now, and if the court can establish a clear link between his label and the conspiracy, it could result in not just criminal charges but a total collapse of his music empire. If there is proof of these allegations, Durk could face serious legal repercussions, including racketeering charges and other criminal counts that could put him behind bars for an extended period. Fans and industry insiders alike are anxiously awaiting further developments in the case, but one thing is clear: the legal pressure surrounding Durk is growing, and if the charges stick, it could mark the end of his career as both an artist and a businessman. Why waste your life and a brilliant music career, defendant? Grant would purchase vehicles, ski masks, and weapons that his other accomplices would use to hunt down and murder TB. 60% of you have not subscribed, so please click the subscribe button. Bell is utilizing an OTF-related credit card. For the purpose of murdering TB, Co-Spirit 3 would buy tickets for co-conspirators to go to California. Oh crap, Durk could be Co-Conspirator 3 after all. Durk may be able to converse by mobile phone, however. I'm not sure whether he's CP1 or 3 yet. Thus, after the murder of DB War on November 6, 2020, Durk used coded language to inform defendant Wilson and other co-conspirators that Co-P1 would pay a bounty or reward to anyone who participated in the killing. Durk is co-conspiring one to coordinate logistics to find, track, and kill him, fire multiple shots at TB, killing SR, who was a passenger in the vehicle. This is some savage _ right here flying across the country to kill people. Defendant Grant flew from Miami to LA on a private jet to help coordinate the murder. Or more co-conspirators, including number 4, discovered that he was staying in California, so who gave up the location, bro? That's crazy work. Defendants Jones and Wilson recruited co-conspirators, including 5 and 2, to fly across the nation later that day to go to Southern Confidential. In order for Co-SP3 to book flights to Southern California, specifically Defendant Jones's entire information, so he can get a goddamn plane ticket. Lindsay should travel to California to murder TV and assist in facilitating such travel by texting Co-SP3 biographical information about Defendant Jones and Lindsay. Oh no, Lil Durk texted, "Don't book any flights under any names involved with me, holy __." Co-SP3 bought airline tickets for defendant Wilson's Jones, Lindsay, and himself using a credit card that ended in 2039 OTF credit card number 1. On the same day that Houston and 2 left Chicago for San Diego, California, Co-SP3 texted defendant Wilson to confirm that defendants Wilson, Jones, Lindsay, and Houston had the same airline ticket confirmation, thus these are all overt. On my trip to Los Angeles, defendant Wilson sent a buddy a message on Instagram. Defendant Houston texted Cookie B to 3 people, one of whom got clear and he was 15 minutes from the airport. Fight Wilson, Jones, Linden. Using airline tickets that Co-SP3 obtained via OTF, Houston and CB2 traveled from Chicago, Illinois to San Diego.
Nobody was saying slide for Vaughn anymore. Slide for Vaughn was not a trend anymore. You get what I mean? So at the end of the day, a lot of people are wondering, why would Durk throw his career out the window just to slide for his homie Vaughn, right? But in reality, bro, Dirk has been through a lot in his life. You get what I mean? Like, people make fun of him for his eyes, the way his eyes look, but at the end of the day, if you really do your research, Dirk lost so many people in his lifetime due to the streets. You get what I mean? Like, Dirk is a part of the streets. You get what I mean? And having people imagine going all through all these things in your life, right? Losing all these people, and people are calling you soft throughout the internet. People are making fun of you for not sliding for Vaughn, for not sliding for your homie. Especially when Dirk did drills with King Vaughn. You get what I mean? Um Dirk and Vaughn were like ride or die homies, right? They both been arrested together, etc. So it's just kind of like, why aren't you sliding for Vaughn? You get what I mean? So yeah, slide for Vaughn was a trend. People were making fun of him.
The credit card, this will only result in a RICO charge. Eventually, defendant Wilson Jones, in order to meet with defendant Grant, Lindsay, and Houston, drove to Los Angeles County. Using cash, Grant bought 4 black ski masks from a sporting goods shop in Los Angeles County. I assume that he is on video engaging in this behavior while using a credit card with the number 2 definite in 1015 OTF. Defendant Jones was one of the co-conspirators whom Grant met with after renting a motel for them in the vicinity of Los Angeles County.